It's your favorite hood healer. It's your favorite motivational dominatrix. It's your favorite auntie, captain, goddess, king, Ladyspeech in the place to be. And I want to welcome you, yes, you with your wonderful self back to my channel. You could be anywhere. In fact, you are somewhere in the world. You're also here with me, sharing time and space. And boy, do I appreciate that. Thank you, mother freaking thank you. Now you know the drill. If you're feeling this, if you're feeling me, if you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, then make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notifications bell so we can keep doing this again and again and again. So we can keep having shenanigans. So you can keep watching what I do. Anytime you push play, I'm available for you. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get into today's video. Are you ready? You ready? Let's get into today's video. It's Sunday, November 8th, and I want to welcome you to Sweet Sermon Sunday, baby. What is Sweet Sermon Sunday? You're about to find out. You are about to find out. So it's Sunday, Magic Sunday for me, a day when I like to give offerings, pay homage, talk to the spirits, do a little spiritual cleansing house, all that maintenance, a little spiritual maintenance, spiritual baths, whatever spirit needs me to do, prayers and all that good stuff. And today I woke up with a word on my heart. Today I woke up with a word on my soul, with a sermon, if you will. So today, not only am I your favorite auntie, captain, goddess, king, Ladyspeech, not only am I that, but I'm your favorite pastor, I'm your favorite deacon, I'm your favorite high priestess steward on this sweet, sweet Sunday, magical Sunday, and I've got a sermon for you. Are you ready? Let's get into it, baby. Let's get into it. You know what? You know something? I woke up today with a word, and this word is sometimes you got to replant yourself. You got to repot yourself. All right. Sometimes you got to repot yourself. Sometimes you got to replant yourself. Now, what the hell do I mean by that? Now, every once in a while, and every now and again, spirit, your own decisions, life circumstances is going to put you in a position where you have outgrown a certain situation, or you're about to outgrow a certain situation, or where you are at in life is no longer appropriate. Even though it was appropriate so many moons ago, it ain't appropriate now, and it means that you're going to have to replant yourself. Sometimes you're going to have to repot yourself. Sometimes you're going to have to remove yourself from the situation you are in, because it ain't going to be the situation that's going to take you to your next level, baby. And repotting yourself, replanting yourself is never a bad thing. Unless you're going to toxic soil in a lesser environment and more cramped quarters, and a pot that don't work for you, and a place that don't water your spirit and nurturing your soul. It is a bad thing if you go to something less than. But if you repot yourself in better circumstances, if you allow yourself to be replanted in spaces that nourish your soul, if you fill up your cup, your bigger pot, first off, if you put yourself in a bigger pot and you replant yourself with some better soil, and you put yourself in a place of light, and you allow yourself to be taken care of by your spiritual team who loves you and your physical team who loves you, you gonna be all right. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Sometimes you got to replant yourself, replot yourself, because you've outgrown a situation. Sometimes you got to replant yourself, repot yourself, because the situation you are in no longer serves you. Sometimes you got to replant yourself, replot yourself, because the things that were nourishing you, the things that were feeding you, the things that were giving you life ain't giving you the life that you need anymore. And you know what? That's okay. Sometimes you understand this and you know this and you see it coming, and you'll get on top of it before anything bad happens, and you will read the cues in your life and act accordingly. And sometimes, out the blue, life is going to ask you to replant yourself. Sometimes you haven't seen how much you've grown. Sometimes you are paying attention to your foliage and you ain't paying attention to your roots, and you don't understand how big you've gotten. But the universe and your spiritual team does, and they will knock on your door and ask you to replant yourself, repot yourself in a situation that suits your growth. Are you feeling me? Are you with me? Pastor Speech is talking to you now. She talking to you now. They talking to you now. He talking to you now. I'm talking to you now. Yes, I am. Pastor Speech in the house. Sometimes you got to remove yourself from a situation that's comfortable in order to put yourself in a situation that's going to maximize your growth and your abilities. Sometimes you got to remove yourself from a situation that no longer has nourishment and nutrients and good things to offer you. Sometimes you have done all you need to do, all you can do, all that needs to be done in that situation, and it's simply time to move on. And when it's time to do that, do it. It's okay. Everything for your highest good, baby. Replanting yourself in a bigger pot with new soil is never a bad thing. Starting fresh, rebirthing, renewing is never a bad thing, baby. It's never a bad thing. Shedding old skin, shedding old shells of yourself, shedding who you used to be in the name of your growth, in the name of your elevation, is never a bad thing. It's always for your highest good, baby. For your highest good. Now, this is the part of the video where I feel called to give you some tips and tricks to help you through this here transition, to help you through this here repotting. If you find yourself at a space and a point in time in your life where it's time to replant, where it's time to do something new, where it's time to refresh yourself, where it's time to rebirth, where you are being called into a rebirth situation, I got a couple of tips and tricks for you to help ease this transition, to help make it a little bit more pleasurable for you. Are you ready for that? Can I give that to you? All right. Now, hello, everyone. Welcome to the second half of this video. Let's get into it. Y'all ready for the meat and potatoes? You ready for the ins and outs? Are you ready for some tips and some tricks to help you navigate should you find yourself in a position where you have to rebirth? Should you find yourself in a situation where you had to replant? Should you find yourself in a conundrum where you're gonna have to repot yourself? Here's a couple of tips and tricks to help you do just that. Number one, you want to make sure that you choose an environment, a situation, a pot, if you will, that's an upgrade, okay? You don't want to take yourself from a situation that was cramping your style, that was suffocating your roots, that was encouraging toxicity, that was strangling your forward movement. You don't want to move yourself from a situation, from a pot that was not able to handle your growth, or from a situation that you outgrew into a situation that looks exactly the same, okay? What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Well, I've got some pots right here, and let me give you a visual example, okay? Say this was your original pot, all right? It was good, it served you well, it was awesome, it was exactly what you needed at the time. Your roots didn't fill all this up, there was plenty of room for you to grow. Now, you find yourself at an impasse. You find yourself in a situation where your roots have taken up all the space, where your roots are now cramped, and it's a cramped, crazy situation. Nothing can breathe, nothing can move, nothing can grow, nothing can expand to its fullest capabilities, and it is time time to place yourself in a new situation. What you don't want to do is take yourself from this situation and put yourself in this situation. Now, why wouldn't you want to do that? Because they're the same damn situation. Just because it's a new pot don't mean it can handle your growth. Make sure when choosing a new situation, make sure when you are replanting yourself, when you are repotting yourself, you choose a situation, you choose a pot, you choose a space, you choose an environment that can handle your forward movement, that can handle your growth. Okay, number two. All right, number two. When the act of replanting, the act of repotting is literally you removing yourself from the situation. So the second step in replanting, repotting, rebirthing your life is removing yourself completely from the old situation. You want to get yourself out of there, okay? You want to distance yourself from old triggers. You want to distance yourself from things that no longer serve you. You want to completely remove yourself from the old thing that is no longer serving you, okay? All right, and what's that process gonna be like? That process is gonna be, tip number 3. You need to loosen the roots, and you need to go slow. All right, be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. When you are rebirthing, when you are replanting, when you are repotting yourself, you always have to respect the fact that you in your entirety are so strong, and you also have very precious, very fragile parts of you that need to be treated with gentleness and kindness. When we are in the act of replanting or repotting an actual plant, you're not gonna take your hand in there and rip that plant up. You're not gonna do that. Root systems can become quite intricate, and you don't want to, and every part of that root system, every single part of that plant is important, and we want to respect that. So we go gently. We go gently. We go gently, and we loosen those roots before we take ourselves, or before we take that plant out of that situation. Okay, how do we loosen the roots? You might get your garden tools in there and gently begin to agitate the gravel, to agitate the dirt in the soil. And if you hear something back there, my window is open to my porch, but my blinds are closed to cut down on the glare. Okay, so that you might hear some things in the background. But you're gonna wanna loosen your roots. You're gonna wanna be gentle yourself. You're gonna wanna loosen the roots. You wanna get in there with your hands. You wanna get dirty. You wanna get hands on. You wanna get in there. You wanna touch the roots. You wanna secure the roots as you're gently lifting them out, okay? When we replant or repot ourselves, it's not just about a bigger pot. It's not just about a better environment. It's also about the soil that you are going to put in that plot. So when we are replanting ourselves, you want to make sure you remove all the old soil, all the old debris. Once you remove those roots, once you remove yourself, once you uproot yourself from a situation, you want it to be gently. You want to very gently remove that dirt, that old potting mix, as much as you can from those roots. You want to detangle those roots from themselves. You want to pick out any old pebbles, old dirt. You might even have an animal or two living in there, but you want to make sure that you remove all the old things that no longer serve it. You want to remove all the dead soil. Same thing in your own life. Remove all the dead soil. Remove all the friends. Remove all of the negative influences. Remove all of the even down to like who you're following on social media. Remove all the dead weight from around you. Remove all the cancerous soil from around you. Remove it all right? And add some new things. If you're gonna remove something, you're gonna need to replace it. So just like when we are repotting, you wanna take the old soil away, you need to add some new soil. When you are rebirthing in your life, you wanna remove all the things that no longer serve you. You wanna take away all the people, the places, the things, the influences, the music, the entertainment, the things you watched, the things you consumed, the people you hung around. If whatever needs to change and shift, lean into it, do it, go forth and conquer. handle it, remove all that from your life. But whatever you remove is going to need to be replaced. All right, so make sure that you are replacing that old soil with new soil, with new friends, with companions and people who are about growth just like you, who are about healing, or who are prioritizing whatever it is you're prioritizing. You want to get you with some like-minded people. Make sure that the social media you're consuming, the things that you are, the people you are hanging around, whatever is going on in your life, you want to make sure that's the soil. You want to make sure that that soil is vibrant and dense and nutrient rich and is feeding you at every single turn. All right, all right, all right. So now what? The new environment, the new pot, if you will, has been chosen. You've got new soil. You've removed yourself from, the old situations. You removed everything that doesn't serve you, that no longer serve you. What do you do now? What do you do now? Well, it's time to replant, baby. It's time to replant. Couple things. Make sure you got the proper tools around you. The most important tools that you're gonna need are your hands. You're gonna need to get dirty. You're gonna need to get hands-on. Rebirth is dirty. Birth is dirty business, baby. Rebirth is dirty business, baby. Replanting and repotting is dirty business, baby. So don't be afraid to get all up in there. Make sure you have your tools, your resources, your support systems, whatever you need. Gather your tools and the things that you need and lay them out at your workspace. Okay. The next thing that you're going to need to do is make sure you have plenty of water. When you replant something, when you repot something, there's a shock that happens. It goes through a shock, and not all plants make it. All right. I actually am, this video was inspired by the fact that I'm in the middle of doing some repotting in my own life, figuratively and literally. And one of the plants that I just repotted, the shock has been too much, and I don't know if that little guy's gonna make it. I don't know if that little guy's gonna make it. I'm doing everything that I can. I am watering it, I'm feeding it, I'm getting it extra nutrients. But I say all that to say sometimes moving into a new environment, even though it's the best thing for you, sometimes rebirthing, sometimes rebranding, sometimes, recreating yourself is the best thing for you, and it can also be a shock to the system. So make sure you are nourishing yourself. Make sure that as you are rebirthing, as you are replanting, as you are repotting, you are nourishing yourself with good entertainment, with people, with places, with things, with situations that pour into you, that uplift you, that make you feel good, that pour into your healing, that pour into your growth. All right? All right, so you got your tools. You got your new situation, you got your pot, you got your new direction. You got your soil, you got your new friends, you got your new, people, you got everything you need. You have your tools, you have your nourishment, you have your food, you have your water, you have the things that's gonna pour into you. Now what do? It's time to replant, all right? It's time to replant. It's time to take your new pot, it's time to take your new situation and put some soil in it. Once you put some soil in that, you line the bottom, you get it all nice and soft and comfy and good and comfortable for you. Then you wanna gently place yourself in this new situation. And you want to very gently, once you have yourself placed in the right position, you want to very gently begin to put this new soil, put these new nutrients, put these new resources into this soil. Firmly and gently building up the support for your roots. Firmly and gently packing that soil around that root system and around yourself so that you can be supported. Once you are replanted, once you are repotted, once you are rebirthed, you're not done. You need to nourish yourself. You need to make sure you're feeding yourself. Whenever you repot a plant, it's always a good idea to give that plant some water, to give that baby some water, to give that baby a little bit of fertilizer, a little bit of plant food, to give that baby a little bit of extra love. Put it in the sun, all right? That's what you want to do to yourself. When you find yourself in a new environment, when you've successfully removed yourself from a situation that no longer serves you, when you have rebirthed, when you have replanted, when you have done all the things, pour a little extra love into yourself. Pour a little extra, water yourself a little bit more. Give yourself a little bit more self-care. Feed yourself a little bit of extra nourishment. Because rebirthing is hard. Replanting yourself is hard. Repotting yourself is hard. And you deserve it. You deserve it. Now every once in a while, and every now and again, you are going to be called to rebirth yourself. Every once in a while and every now and again, Creator is going to call you to leave behind everything you used to be in order to become the greatest versions of yourself. Every once in a while and every now and again, you are going to be asked. You are going to be tasked. You are going to be directed to a rebirth. Now, when this happens, when you are called to your rebirth, when you're called to the table to repot yourself, when God, Goddess, Universe, Ancestors, your spiritual team request that you pull it on in so that you can reform, so that you can renew, so that you can refresh, so that you can rebirth, so that you can repot, so that you can replant yourself, know that everything is going to be all right. And repotting yourself is never a bad thing. It means you've grown. Outgrowing a situation is never a bad thing. It means you're growing. It means you're expanding. It means you're elevating. So be proud of yourself when you find yourself in an intersection where it's time to rebirth. Be proud of yourself when you find yourself in a situation where you're being called to grow. Be proud of yourself when you find yourself at a space in time and life where there's nothing left to do but molt. Step out of that old skin, step out of that old thought process, step out of that old self, and step in to the greatest version of you. Now listen to your auntie speech. Listen to your favorite auntie, Captain Goddess. Listen to your favorite hood healer. Listen to your favorite motivational dominatrix. I ain't gonna lead you wrong. I ain't gonna lead you wrong. All right, my loves, that is all. That's the only word I had on my heart for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're feeling me, if you're feeling this, if you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notifications bell, and we can do this again and again and again. I want to say I appreciate your support. I want to say I appreciate the fact that you spent some time with me. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, give yourself a round of applause because you've done something amazing today. Go ahead and have a good day. Go ahead and have a good night. Go ahead and have a good whenever you choose, whenever you came across this. All right, have a good day, have a good night, have a good evening, have a good life, and I'm gonna see all you love bugs soon. Mwah! Stay safe out there. Love yourself. Give yourself some self-care, and thank a black woman today. Be safe out there. Love yourself. Be gentle with you. And I'll see you soon. Bye.